The iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max are Apple's best in 2019 and will be until the September of 2020. 4 months in, $1,000+ price tag, and a Pro moniker. Are they worth putting your money on? Let's find out. What's up, everybody? Thought I'd gone? Nope. Life just got in the way. Good to be back. This is Vijay from TechImaginist. Though this design has been around since the iPhone X, I like the build quality of the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. The glass sandwich with the stainless steel frame definitely feels good and refined in the hand. The 11 Pro and Pro Max keep up with Apple's reputation and remain an industry standard for best build quality. I'm not going to talk about how their glass is the strongest glass ever, but drop tests have proved that the glass is quite durable and the stainless steel is definitely chip and dent resistant compared to aluminium. Slapping a case is still a good plan though. There's also a nice weight to it that adds to the feeling. And the iPhone 11 Pro Max is the heavier of the two at 226 grams, even for my hands. And it only gets heavier with the case. The 7nm plus A13 Bionic chipset runs the show, supported by 4GB of RAM. Here's a quick rundown of the specifications of the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. The performance on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max is as fast and smooth as ever and will not stutter or hang. No, not even on your worst day. The A13 Bionic also handles heavy tasks like video editing and rendering faster than its predecessor. Apple has managed to squeeze in an almost 4000 mAh battery into the 11 Pro Max package, compared to the 3000-ish battery on the XS Max. What those numbers translate into in real life is a full day of heavy usage and some charge to spare till the night. There have been days when I've forgotten to charge it overnight and still had about 20% to spare in the morning. The screen is consistent with last year's iPhone XS and XS Max, but now Apple calls them the Super Retina XDR OLED screen. That's a mouthful. And holding them side by side with last year's version doesn't reveal much of a change. The panels are mostly identical, but with the Pro versions having up to 800 nits of brightness. There's no 90Hz or 120Hz refresh rate at this point. 3D Touch hardware has been removed, and it's an action that has been replaced by long presses with haptics. The pressure-sensitive display technology seemed to be ahead of its time, and Apple probably decided to kill it because it was underutilized by third-party apps, and such hardware was just taking up space. The cameras are probably why Apple calls their premium devices the Pro. For years I've felt that Apple had sort of slacked off with the cameras. Not hating on Apple here, they always had great cameras, but others like the Google Pixel and Huawei were doing good, if not better. But with the cameras on the 11 Pro and the Pro Max, Apple has really knocked it out of the park. Though the stove lens setup looks funny at first, it feels premium and really grows on you quickly. With that, Apple has finally decided to include the 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens along with the 12 megapixel wide and telephoto lenses. We can see a few camera samples here. The iPhone 11 Pro Max produces some sharp images with plenty of detail. I find the color reproduction is more accurate with high dynamic range on point. Apple included the ultra-wide lens with the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. It is a handy feature if you really want to include more into your shot. There is an inevitable fisheye effect, but that sometimes just adds to an interesting perspective with minimum distance. The 2x optical zoom is pretty useful for capturing objects closer without compromising on the clarity. Here's a quick comparison with the Samsung Note 10 Plus. The iPhone's image is sharper and retains much more resolved detail. The Note 10 Plus loses detail with the grass and the water looking soft. In this image, there is ample resolve detail in both images. The iPhone 11 Pro Max seems to do better with the sky and the overall dynamic range than the Note 10 Plus. Yesteryear's iPhone XS performs quite close to the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Here's another comparison for the ultra-wide shot from the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the Note 10 Plus. There's more resolved detail on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, with the clouds and the rocks looking sharp compared to the Note 10 Plus's image. The iPhone 11 Pro Max is pretty good in low light. Images show a good amount of detail. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison with the Note 10 Plus. The resolved detail of the chair is better on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Here you can notice that the image on the Note 10 Plus has mushed the detail of the grass and the metal structure. The iPhone XS again performs very close to the iPhone 11 Pro Max here. Both the 11 Pro Max and the Note 10 Plus suffer with noise in the low-light ultra-wide shot. The iPhone has better dynamic range, and the Note 10 Plus manages to keep the noise down a notch and has an overall clearer image. We tried the night mode for the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the Note 10 Plus. It was quite dark, and our Panasonic G85 could not pick up much light. But both the iPhone and the Note were able to take some usable shots. The colors on the iPhone look natural and has more resolved detail, with the Note 10 Plus bringing in a bluish tint. At this point, it got too dark and cold, so we had to pack up for the day. So which phone do you think did better among the two? Let me know in the comments down below. We will soon be comparing the iPhone 11 Pro Max with the upcoming Samsung S20 Ultra, which is expected to be a beast of a camera. Subscribe to my channel to watch that one. Apple has finally, oh boy, that's a lot of finallys, ditched the dated 7-megapixel selfie camera for a 12-megapixel sensor. The image quality and resolve detail have improved greatly. Here's a quick selfie comparison with the iPhone XS. The iPhone shoots smooth 4K video at 60 frames per second. Videos turn out crisp with a good amount of detail and high dynamic range even in low light. The audio quality has been improved from previous versions with Dolby Atmos and Dolby Digital Plus. The dual speaker combination provides an immersive experience for watching media content and games. Gaming performance is really smooth and fluid. Though I'm not much of a phone gamer myself, I find the experience immersive with great sound and display quality. There isn't much of a change in the GPUs from last year's XS or XS Max, and it was so smooth you probably wouldn't have noticed a change anyway. The iOS is what makes iPhone stand apart from the rest of its competition. It helps the hardware run everything smoothly with 4 GB of RAM, when its Android competition sometimes stutters at 8 or even 12 GB of RAM. The iOS is its greatest strength, but also its greatest weakness. Most third-party apps are better designed and better looking on the iOS than their Android counterparts. It probably has to do with iOS being exclusive to iPhones and iPads, and Apple's stringent standards for apps. Apple is also consistent with updates, latest iOS versions supporting previous iPhones for over 5 years. On the downside, there's still no system-wide file manager. Transfer of content mostly needs iTunes, and downloaded files could be saved to the Files app for few limited apps to access. But that's about as flexible as it gets. These limitations are mostly what we have come to accept from iPhones over the years. With a compelling package, best-in-class build quality, game-changing camera, and with so little to complain about, the iPhones are hard not to love. So what do you think about the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, before I go, I know I couldn't post videos for a while now. Something came up and that's just how life is, I guess. But hey, Thanks for staying and thanks for coming back to watch and support me with this one. If you are new here and you liked my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I post some behind the scenes content and latest life updates on social media, so come hang out with me on Facebook and Instagram at TechImaginist. Talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.